Senate Democrats walked out of ongoing talks with Republicans this past weekend. The discussions were over policy changes to border security. That move endangers congressional efforts to pass an aid package for Ukraine and Israel. With only 2 weeks before the Christmas break, the parties are drawing their lines in the sand. Let's check in with Capitol Hill correspondent Erik Rosales for the very latest. Erik.
Well, good evening, Tracy. Both the White House and Ukrainian officials warned Congress that aid to help fund the war against Russia is running out as soon as by the end of the year. But deep divisions continue to grow up here on Capitol Hill, and Republicans are digging in, insisting that any more money to foreign aid has to include policy changes to deal with the crisis at the southern border.
We are going to secure the border. Nothing's going to get passed with regard to Ukraine unless this border is going to be secure.
If the word Ukraine is uttered on the floor of the House of Representatives before we have secured the border, passed H.R. 2 out of the Senate, with the president signing it, with metrics attached, that is an utter fail by Republicans.
Democrats aren't backing down.
This is not about addressing the border. This is about destroying the immigration system, something they have not been able to do through regular order, so they want to try and trade destruction of the asylum system for aid for Ukraine. That's just outrageous.
Last month, the House passed a $14 billion Israel aid bill paid for by taking money away from the IRS. It doesn't include any funds for Ukraine. It remains stalled in the Senate. But the deep divisions aren't just with funding the wars or the border. Some Democrats are also demanding that any Israeli aid package must also include humanitarian efforts for Palestinians.
Israel cannot disregard international law. They cannot kill women and children indiscriminately. And if we're going to give them money, and they need money to defend themselves, but if we're going to give them money, then they have got to obey international law.
Congress must also pass the defense bill, and there are problems there too. Senator Josh Hawley says it must include compensating victims of radiation testing by the military.
I will not sign off on funding for military contractors to get billions of dollars in taxpayer money, while the people of my state and other states who have been poisoned by the federal government get nothing.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says that he'll bring up an aid package for Ukraine and Israel this week, but it will not have any border security. Again, that's a non-starter for Republicans, so a lot of negotiating must take place this week. I'll stay on top of it. At the Capitol, Erik Rosales, EWTN News Nightly.